Okay then, it's time for this year's Giant Snowman, and this year we're going to try something different, and we're going to use a piece of mulberry, or as you know in the States, Osage Orange. Right then, on the lathe I have this piece of mulberry, or as you would call it in the States, Osage or Osage, seems to depend on where you're from, how you pronounce it. It's about 12 inches long. I got this piece from William Kenny, and I also got this new thing I'm going to try from him as well. It's a new finish. Well, it's a new on me, and I just thought this would be a good chance to try it out. Right, so first thing I'm going to do is, of course, round it off, get it in a chuck. So we'll get on with that. Right, then we're rounded off, we're in a chuck. Square everything off. Right, everything's now squared off. Now, I haven't cut mulberry before. It looks like it's going to be pretty. Right, so we mark it out, right? Say head, first ball, second ball, base. Skew and do some peeling cuts just to get this down. It's quicker. Skew needs an edge. That's a bit better. When you have to get stuff down like that, using a skew and a peeling cut is easily the quickest way of doing it. Right then. And for anybody who's new to the channel and doesn't know, it's like a tradition on the channel where I do a Giant Snowman every year on video. Right, okay, now we roll in this. Roll in the head. Right, grab a detail gouge to get in there. Like with everything, rough shape first, then clean it up. The colour of this stuff is amazing. And Third ball. Right, now we have the rough shape. Oh, that's nice. Might leave that there. Now we have the rough shape. I can actually get to shaping this thing properly. Some jumps there. Yeah, they'll come out. Right. So I always do my snowman the same way. 3 balls. Even my standard snowman, which are pretty quick to do. I keep the same design. Basically, if you get a design that works, just stick with it. Right, snowmen aren't difficult to do. They're actually a pretty good beginner project to do as well. Right, but as I said, if you get a design you like, just stick to it. Just round over the top of his head. Snowmen sell very well around this time of year, especially these giant ones, because they're different. I think people are sick of going with like plastic Christmas decorations, and they're looking for something new. I just had a run back there because I presented incorrectly. Right. Let me show you this. I presented incorrectly there, and you see the run back I'm after getting, so I now have to cut that out. Right, what happened there was I presented too flat instead of tilted. And as always, if something goes wrong, I will leave it in the video. Everybody remembers the basics of wood turning, which is anchor, bevel, cut. What I did there was I anchored and cut instead of anchor, bevel, cut. So I got run back. Let's check over all that run back out of it. I do fairly well. Maybe just another little bit there. Slight bit there. And right then, now we'll sand that, and then we'll get to this new finish that William gave me to try. So I'll do all that. I'll be back in a sec. Right then, we're all sanded and sealed. Right now, this is where we're going to change a bit from the norm. Anybody who's seen my finishing video knows how I normally finish stuff. But while I was up visiting William that time, he was after making some OB shine juice, and he gave me a little of it to try. Now, the difference between this and my normal finishing stuff, right? If you haven't seen my finishing video, I'll leave a link up there for you, right? And below, of course, right? Is my normal finishing routine. I use wax, right? This is a friction polish, and you will hear me saying constantly in the other video that heat is your enemy. When you're using a wax finish, heat is your enemy. But this is a friction polish, so heat is actually your friend. You want to build up heat using this. Right. I've never used it before, but I have seen it a lot, and it's quite an interesting thing. But from what I've learned about it, heat is your friend. You need heat to do this. Right, so I put it on. Right, start working it in. Right, and then you want to build up heat. You want this to get hot. Now, not scalding hot, but hot enough. So I'm actually spinning at about 1200 at the moment, just to get this heat into this. And as I said, I've always just wanted to see how this stuff works, or what the finish is like on it. I actually feel it getting hot. Like, it's putting a good shine on the cloth. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but there's a good shine on the cloth. And if you want to know how to make this stuff, if you go over to William's channel and just ask him in one of his videos, he will doubtless tell you how he did it, and he actually found something that's much cheaper than shellac flakes, which are damn expensive. Look at this. That is quite hot now. There's a nice feel of it, but it is not as shiny as my normal finish. Let's see if I can buff it. No matter what happens, I'm actually going to leave with this finish on it because I want to see what happens to it after a while. I want to see if it keeps its sheen. Now I can see the lights in the ceiling reflecting in it, so it's doing something. Now, anybody who uses this stuff regularly, if I'm doing something wrong here, just chime up in the comments, please. As I said, it's something I haven't used before. But it's more of a sheen than a shine, I would say. Right then, cut this off and we get on with the next bit, which is the hat. Grab my parting tool. Make sure I have a clean edge there. Right. Cut in at an upward angle so that the snowman is sitting on a rim. So I'll check this edge. Yeah, edge is good. Right. Finish off that, I'm just going to have to sand there. But, it seems to be very resistant to fingerprints, which is good. Right, we'll stick him over there for the moment. Now we get on with the hat. And the hat is not exactly something that's super difficult, but something that somebody did ask me in the last one, right, is about doing the top of the hat, right? Now, I'm just used to doing this, so I don't really do it all that often, right? What you want to do is you want to measure your jaws when they're about halfway open, right? And that is about the size that you want the rim on your hat. So I'll set up for doing the hat and I'll be back in a sec. Alright then, in the lathe for the hat I have a piece of tiger wood. Right, I never measured it actually. It is roughly 4 by 4.5 maybe. Right, now the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that this is big enough for that size I put in my jaws, which it is, right? Yeah, it is. Right, so now I just want to round it off and stick it in a chuck, same way as I did with the body. Right, now I want to have a look at it and decide which way up I want it, which is the bottom of the hat, which is the top. That I think will look like a feather at the top of the hat, so I'm going to use this as the bottom. Right, so I'll square off here. put a tenon on it for my jaws. And seeing as how I'm using jaws that are straight with a tooth, I don't need to put a word's gone. Anybody who knows the channel knows what's happening at the moment, why I can't say that word. The angle thing that goes here. Right? Anybody who's watched the channel a while knows why I'm having a problem saying that word. Tie it on. Make sure it's square to the chuck as always. Right, now square it off here and then cut the rim. Cut for a rim. And then just start peeling away the hat. And these Giant Snowman are like quite big hats, with kind of a swoop in them. Right, but if you're doing them, design them whatever way you like. You don't have to copy guys on YouTube if you don't like the design. Just change it up to something you like. It's like my angel video. My angel has been redesigned a load of times. And I'm actually delighted it has, because people are making it their own. There's even a guy over in the States, I think is it Bob, I'm probably going to butcher your name, mate, I apologise, Grindstead or something like that, who teaches it in demo. Right, now we just clean there, up a bit, make it easier to sand. Right, now what we got to do is make here fit the snowman's head, which is just a case of hollowing it until it fits. First thing I want to do is get my rim size. Right, grab Mr. Snowman. And as you can see, I want his head to go in there, so that has to be a lot deeper there. When you're at this stage, the only thing you really have to watch is that your hollowing doesn't come out past the edge of the rim there, because you'll just cut it off. Slight bit more. And I drop Mr. Snowman. He's grand. There we go. Here's Mr. Snowman's hat. Right now what I want to do is I'm going to drill a hole in there for a dowel to hold on to his head basically. Doesn't really matter what size hole it is. Once it'll hold. So around, what have I got handy here? I have an 8mm handy. That will do. 8mm is plenty. Wrong way. 8mm is absolutely plenty big enough for this, but I do want to make sure it's centered. And that will hold a dowel, and I'll also drill a hole on top of his head at the right angle to also hold the dowel. Right then, I'll sand this and I'll be back to you to show you how to do the tops. So I'll be back in a sec. Right then, that is sanded, and this time I've put Yorkshire grit on it. I can't remember if I said it when I was doing the snowman. If I didn't, when I'm editing, I'll just put a caption in the side, right? But I'm experimenting with this stuff to see what works best with it, right? So with the snowman body, I didn't put any Yorkshire grit on it. I just sanded it. I actually sanded this to 600, right? And then tried the shine juice. This one, the hat, I have used Yorkshire grit on. So we'll see if there's much of a difference with it. Right, so here it is on. Now let's start building up some heat, get it spread around. Up to, we'll try 1,000 on this one. Build up a bit of heat and see if it turns out shinier than the snowman. As I said when I was doing this year's Giant Snowman series, how I had the shine juice there. That you give it a shot, and I could do some experiments with it to see what it's like. Building up some heat. Right. Put off. Now, how do you think? Is that shinier? I think it is. What do you think? This is sanded to 600, and that's 240 with Yorkshire grit. Alright then, we'll flip this over and I'll show you how to sort out the top of this. That bit. Back on with the large jaws. Grab some kitchen towel. Grab the rim, using the kitchen towel, because then you won't mark the rim. I just want to bring the towel stock up just to make sure there's even pressure on it and that it's centralized. Right. Very careful not to over tighten this because it'll mark the rim even through the kitchen towel. Now with a freshly sharpened detail gouge, I'll just nibble that away. Snap off very gently, because remember you're holding this with lighter than normal pressure. There's the top of the hat sorted. Right, so I will sand and finish that. Right, and then it's just piping the nose to do. So I'll finish the top of this and I'll be back in a sec. Alright, just finishing off this shine juice on the lid, on the top of it. I'm still in two minds about it. To be honest with you, I'm still in two minds about it. Yeah, still in two minds about the thing itself, the stuff itself. Now, the last two bits are the nose and the pipe, which are really quick. Let's grab the bend jaws. Right, where did I put that? Right, I have a little bit of U here for the nose. I like to use, what I always try and do is use 4 different types of wood in this. Just adds to it a little bit, I think. And I always use U for the nose because it's orange, like a carrot. Right, round this off, shape a very simple and quick carrot. Block off some knuckles, thank you. tool as it's handy. Just got the parting tool there because it was handy. Get rid of that. Now shape this carrot. So it's just a very simple cone. Nothing spectacular about it. A lot thinner than that though. The detail goes in there. And then a little, so it's like a carrot. Still way too thick. Try and make sure it's not poker straight, because if you ever look at a carrot, it's not straight. So I deliberately put little bumps into it and stuff like that. Right, little bumpy carrot nose. Grab a piece of 240. Just take the edge off it, like. I'm quite happy with the shape of that front. That's better. Yeah, okay. Right. Touch of sanding sealer, Yorkshire grit, and then shine juice. Right. And basically the pipe is just another small little turning like this. Turn a bowl, turn the stem, run it with a black marker, turns it black, and then just join it. Right, so I'll do all that and I'll be back to you in a second. Right then, that's the pipe turned. So cut this off now. I find using a little saw is the best way of doing it. Right then, now I'll finish his base. I just have to sand his base, and then we'll put them together. Right, I just gotta sand that off. Right, so I'll do that and I'll be right back. Right then, assembling these things. First thing I always like to do is put the hat on, because kind of, in my head anyway, a hat either makes or breaks a snowman. Right, so I've turned a little dowel and I've put it in there. It's a little light middle dowel. Just turned it off camera. No point in you what should be turning a dowel. Right, so what I want is I want the hat kind of at an angle there. Right, so I'll line up that dowel to roughly where I want it, and then drill a 9mm hole in his head. Wow, this stuff is hard. I'm gonna get a new drill bit. This stuff is really hard. I feel it harder when I was cutting it. Right, now we'll try that again. Dry fit it, see what happens. Yeah, that's in a good spot. Now what I'm going to do to get the hole a little bit deeper. Right, I'm going to put some thick CA in it and glue the hat on. Now, which way do I want the hat? I think showing both light and dark is probably a way to go. And there we have the snowman and his hat on. Now we got to do nose and eyes, right? Well, so for the eyes, I should have really done first. Yeah, right, I'm going to pull that back off because that hat is quite low. Now, this is a question I get asked quite a lot. So what do I use for eyes and buttons and stuff? Right? And basically, they are furniture tacks, is what I use. Now, I want to position his right, pull that up there. Right, now I want to figure out where everything is going first. So the first thing is going to be his nose. Right. Put the hand on to position his nose, which is there. So I'll drill a little hole for his nose. Hope the hat doesn't stick, it doesn't. Right, I'll drill a little hole for his nose. Now what I like to use for eyes are these. They're for the bottom of furniture, if you're moving it around so it doesn't scratch your floor. I use these on the Giant Snowman. Just grab a brado. Now, what I want to do is I want to make sure that they're in the same place, either side of the face. So I will put a couple of little marks in with the brado so that I know where I have to go. And then I made this little beach hammer years ago so that I can hammer these in without causing any damage to them. Right, there we have a snowman, two little eyes. Right. Now, his nose. A little bit of thick CA on his nose. Glue that in. Yeah, he looks kind of weird, which is good. Right, and his pipe coming out at an angle out of his mouth. Check the fit. Fit is good. And a little bit of CA. Right. Now I'm going to CA this again because that CA is going to be gone off. Because I wasn't thinking. Put it on the dowel this time. Put his hat on his head. Give it a twist. Right. Showing off both sides. Right. And now for his buttons, I like to use these ones, just so that they're different to his eyes. Right, yet again, they're a furniture tack. These ones are bronzed, and they've got all these little like honeycombs in them. And same again, I will mark them with a bradawl first to make sure that they're where I want them. Right, on with the scarf, which is just a piece of Christmassy ribbon. Use the pin to find that hole that I put in. And just tap it home. Gotta be kind of careful when you're doing this part that you don't bend it, which I have. Yeah, it's going way off to the side there. Right. So I'll have to do that again. Use this top button to hold it in, to hold the scarf in. And then come down this front with two other buttons. Get one for the one I bent. If you're doing this and you do bend one, take it out and change it. And there we have a giant snowman. Right, I'll give you a better look at this and we'll have a bit of a yap. Right, now we have a giant snowman while doing this experiment with that shine juice. Right, you can see both of them on the screen at the moment. Right, which one do you think is better? Right, remember this was sanded to 600 and this was sanded to 400 and had Yorkshire grit used on it. My personal opinion is I think I still prefer my own normal finish. As I said earlier on, if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link up there to it. Right, I want to thank everyone for the goodwill messages about the flood in the house. It's finally sorted. There's only one more thing to do. I told you about it a couple of weeks ago, and then there was just so many little fiddly jobs that had to be done after the big work had been done that I just didn't have time to come out to the workshop at all. I am miles behind on Christmas. Right, I'll tell you about a couple of videos that are upcoming. As I said, there's gonna be the new kiln one when I get around to that. I was contacted by a crowd over in the US who do masks. They want me to review them. I gave them my usual spiel of grand, I'll review it, but if I don't like it or if I find something wrong with it, I'm gonna say it. And their answer was grand. So they've sent me over one of them, or they've sent me over them, and they've also sent me over one for a giveaway. So that's going to be an extra video, and I'll be doing a giveaway in that one of one of these masks. And I've been trying it out while doing work in the house, while doing dusty work in the house, and they're not bad. So I'll give you a full review on it in an extra video. There was a girl, sorry, I can't remember your name, who asked, could I do a video on mounting on a chuck? I haven't forgotten it, I promise. I just haven't had the time. I've been up to my tonsils. Right, that will be upcoming. And then hopefully by Christmas we'll be back to normal of a video a week and stuff. It was just, as you know, everything went hectic. So if you enjoyed that one, I got nothing out of it, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like on the video. And I'll see you in the next one.